We know that babies from birth like to look at patterns, and the first pattern they see is the pattern of their mother's face. So that includes dark dots where the eyes are, and a dark dot with the mouth, and also the hairline. So this attracts where babies look, and research shows that they'll actually follow the mother's face from very young, actually within the first 48 hours. So infants around 3 to 4 months old have a preference for the odd one out. So odd one outs are where there's a pattern with many same elements, but one element looks different to the other ones. So for example, you might have straight lines, and one of these lines might be at a particular orientation. Infants' attention is grabbed and held by the odd one out. So these patterns which contain an odd one out, the infant finds very engaging and seems to explore the pattern more, as if they're trying to detect what it is that's different and why this element seems to be different from the other ones. For odd one out patterns, it seems that attention and selectivity is what it is that's driving the infants looking towards this particular element that might be different. Attention of the infant towards the odd one out is important for humans in general, for finding out where things are in the environment. That could be fruit, for example, among leaves, or a predator among the trees. So it's something that's evolved through time to be beneficial to humans. When babies are young, they seem to have more ability to recognize the difference between faces than adults do. This is because the brain is preparing the baby in order to see all the things that it will come across in its life. So babies come across faces a lot. That's all they really see. And they become experts at telling the difference between faces. They can also do this with animal faces. And in fact, infants are better at telling the difference between animal faces than adults are. If you have two monkeys that look the same, and there is actually a difference between them, adults might not detect it, whereas an infant will detect it. As an infant ages, there's a phenomenon called perceptual narrowing. And this is where this ability to detect differences in faces narrows. So they become an expert in the faces and things that they see. So infants from 1 to 6 weeks old have a preference for straight lines, whereas over 6 weeks old, they have a preference for curved lines.
It's a myth that babies see in black and white. A lot of people think this, but actually even a newborn infant has got some colour vision. So for example, if you show a newborn baby a big patch of bright, highly intense red, then they'll be able to orient to it. However, their colour vision is very limited, but over the first couple of months of life, it rapidly develops. So the brain has got two colour channels, one red-green and one blue-yellow. And from about 6 to 8 weeks, red-green, the red-green channel, it has come online. So they're able to see colours that vary in those differences. And then the blue-yellow channel comes online about 6 to 8 weeks later. So by the time they're 3 months, they're what we call trichromatic. So the receptors in their retina that detect colour are fully functioning by then. However, they're still less sensitive to colour. So infants will still need colours to be more intense and saturated for them to be able to see that colour. And in fact, that sensitivity to colour continues to improve all the way up until late adolescence. And then by about 18 to 19, the sensitivity to colour is at its peak. And the bad news is that after that, the sensitivity to colour starts to decrease again.